What happens if you pour fish water into your lemon tree? Not fish emulsion from a bottle, not some fancy store-bought fertilizer. I'm talking about the actual water from your fish tank, the stuff most people dump straight down the drain without a second thought. What if I told you that dirty fish water might be one of the most powerful things you could ever give your lemon tree? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you're going to look at your fish tank completely differently. Before we dive in, if you're the kind of person who loves turning everyday waste into garden gold, you're in the right place. Hit that subscribe button and tap the bell, because every week I break down simple tricks like this one that can transform the way you grow. Alright, let's get into it. Let's talk about what's actually floating around in that fish tank water, because it's a lot more than just fish waste. When you keep fish in an aquarium, you're essentially running a tiny self-contained ecosystem. Every time your fish eat, breathe, and swim around, they're contributing to a cocktail of nutrients that builds up in the water over time. And that cocktail happens to be almost perfectly suited for plants. The biggest player here is ammonia. Fish release ammonia through their gills and through waste. On its own, ammonia is actually harmful to fish in high concentrations, which is why aquarium owners are always worried about water quality. But here's the twist. Beneficial bacteria in the tank convert that ammonia into nitrite and then into nitrate through a process called the nitrogen cycle. Nitrate is the stable, plant-friendly form of nitrogen, and it happens to be one of the most important nutrients any plant needs to grow strong, green, healthy leaves. Next, you've got phosphorus. This comes from uneaten fish food, fish waste, and decomposing organic matter sitting at the bottom of the tank. Phosphorus is essential for energy transfer inside a plant. Think of it like the currency a plant spends to build roots, produce flowers, and eventually set fruit. Then there's potassium, which also comes from fish waste and decaying plant matter if you keep any aquarium plants. Potassium is like the plant's internal regulator. It controls how water moves in and out of cells, how strong the plant's stems and branches are, and how well it can handle stress like heat, cold, or drought. Beyond the big three, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, fish water is loaded with trace minerals. Calcium and magnesium often leach into the water from gravel, rocks, and tap water minerals. Calcium strengthens cell walls, while magnesium is the central atom in chlorophyll, the molecule that makes leaves green and allows photosynthesis to happen in the first place. You'll also find micronutrients like iron, zinc, manganese, and copper in small amounts. These don't sound glamorous, but plants need tiny doses of these elements to run essential enzyme systems. Without them, even if nitrogen and phosphorus levels are perfect, a plant can still show weird symptoms like yellowing leaves or stunted growth. Finally, fish water carries beneficial bacteria and organic matter. These microbes don't just sit there, they actively help break down organic material in the soil, making nutrients more available to plant roots. It's a living liquid, not a sterile chemical mix, and that's exactly why it behaves so differently from synthetic fertilizer. So when you pour fish water onto soil, you're not just adding nitrogen, you're adding a balanced, slow-release blend of macronutrients, micronutrients, and living organisms all at once, something that usually takes several different products to replicate. Now let's flip over to the lemon tree side of the equation, because this is where things get really satisfying. Lemon trees are heavy feeders. If you've ever grown one and wondered why it looked pale, dropped fruit early, or just seemed to be struggling, it's usually a nutrition problem. And it turns out the exact nutrients a lemon tree craves line up almost perfectly with what's sitting in that fish tank. First and foremost, lemon trees need nitrogen, and they need a lot of it. Nitrogen drives leaf and shoot growth. A lemon tree that's nitrogen deficient will show pale, yellowish leaves, especially the older ones, and its growth will slow to a crawl. Citrus trees in general are known for being nitrogen hungry compared to a lot of other fruit trees, which is exactly why the nitrate-rich nature of fish water is such a good match. Remember that ammonia converted into nitrate we talked about earlier? That's precisely the form of nitrogen a lemon tree can absorb through its roots most efficiently. Next up is potassium, and for a fruiting tree like lemon, this one is huge. Potassium directly affects fruit size, juice content, and overall fruit quality. A lemon tree low in potassium often produces smaller fruit with thicker, rougher skin and less juice inside. Since fish water carries a steady supply of potassium from waste and decomposing matter, it directly supports that fruit development process. Then there's phosphorus, which lemon trees rely on for strong root development and flower formation. Before a lemon tree can produce fruit, it has to flower successfully, and that flowering process is fueled significantly by phosphorus. Weak phosphorus levels can mean fewer blooms, and fewer blooms eventually means fewer lemons. Calcium and magnesium matter enormously for citrus too. Calcium helps build sturdy cell walls throughout the tree, which improves overall structural health and resistance to certain physiological disorders. Magnesium, being central to chlorophyll, is critical for that deep, glossy green color lemon leaves are known for. A magnesium deficiency in citrus often shows up as a distinctive yellowing pattern between the leaf veins, while the veins themselves stay green. It's a classic warning sign growers look for. And then we've got the micronutrients, iron, zinc, and manganese, all of which lemon trees are notoriously sensitive to. Citrus trees are famous among growers for showing micronutrient deficiencies faster and more visibly than most other plants. Iron deficiency causes that pale, almost white new growth. Zinc deficiency causes small, narrow leaves. Manganese deficiency causes mottled yellowing. Fish water, with its trace mineral content, helps top up exactly these elements in small, steady doses. So when you connect the dots, a lemon tree needs high nitrogen for growth, strong potassium for fruit quality, phosphorus for flowering and roots, calcium and magnesium for structure and color, and a handful of micronutrients to avoid those classic citrus deficiency symptoms. Fish water checks essentially every one of these boxes in a single pour. It's not a coincidence that gardeners have used aquarium water on citrus for generations. It's basically a complete, gentle, slow-release fertilizer hiding in plain sight. Used the right way, fish water offers some genuinely impressive benefits because the nutrients are in organic, diluted form rather than concentrated synthetic salts. They release slowly and gently into the soil. This reduces the risk of nutrient burn compared to harsh chemical fertilizers, feeds beneficial soil microbes rather than killing them off, and improves overall soil structure over time. Many growers notice deeper green leaves, sturdier new growth, and better fruit set within a few applications. It's essentially free fertilizer that would otherwise go down the drain, and it's about as close to waste not, want not gardening as you can get. But here's where I need you to really pay attention, because this is where people mess it up. Fish water is not something you just dump on your tree in unlimited amounts. Used incorrectly, it can absolutely cause damage. The biggest danger is over-application. Too much fish water too often can lead to a buildup of nitrogen in the soil, which pushes the tree into excessive leafy growth at the expense of flowering and fruiting. In more extreme cases, ammonia that hasn't fully converted to nitrate can actually scorch tender roots, especially in a young or potted lemon tree with limited soil volume to buffer it. Timing matters just as much as quantity. Pouring fish water onto bone-dry soil can shock the root system, and applying it during periods of plant dormancy when the tree isn't actively growing means the nutrients just sit there unused, potentially causing salt or nutrient buildup instead of helping. And method matters too. Pouring it directly against the trunk, rather than around the drip line where the active feeder roots are, wastes most of the benefit and can even encourage fungal issues at the base of the tree. So yes, the benefits are real and well worth using this method, but the margin between helpful boost and stressed, damaged tree comes down entirely to getting the quantity, timing, and technique right, which is exactly what we're covering next. Here's exactly how to do this the right way, step by step. Step 1. Source your fish water properly. If you have a freshwater aquarium, use water from a routine water change, ideally water that's been sitting in the tank for at least a few weeks, so the nitrogen cycle has had time to convert ammonia into nitrate. Avoid using water from a brand new tank since it may still be high in raw ammonia. Also avoid saltwater aquarium water entirely. The salt content will harm your lemon tree, not help it. Step 2. Dilute it. This is the step people skip, and it's the most important one. Never apply fish tank water at full strength if it's heavily concentrated with waste. As a general guideline, mix 1 part fish water to about 2 to 3 parts plain water for a standard application. If your tank water looks especially cloudy or has a strong odor, lean toward the more diluted end of that ratio. Step 3. Gather your tools. You just need a clean watering can or bucket, and if you want to be precise, a simple measuring jug to keep your dilution ratio consistent each time. Step 4. Check your soil moisture first. Water your lemon tree with plain water a day or two before applying the fish water mixture if the soil is very dry. Applying nutrient-rich water to parched soil can stress the roots, so you want the soil to already be lightly moist. Step 5. Apply around the drip line, not the trunk. The drip line is roughly the circle on the ground beneath the outer edge of the tree's canopy. This is where most of the active feeder roots are concentrated. For a potted lemon tree, pour evenly around the entire surface of the soil, not just in one spot. Step 6. Use the right amount. For a young or potted lemon tree, around 1 to 2 liters of the diluted mixture is plenty. For a larger, established in-ground tree, you can scale up to 3 to 5 liters, always poured slowly so it has time to soak in rather than run off. Step 7. Water it in lightly. After applying the fish water mixture, follow up with a small amount of plain water. This helps carry the nutrients further down into the root zone rather than letting them sit right at the surface. That's it. 7 simple steps, but each one matters. Skip the dilution or ignore the drip line placement and you lose most of the benefit, or worse, you risk stressing the tree. Let's talk about when you should absolutely avoid doing this and when you should be doing it instead. Do not apply fish water during the tree's dormant period. In most climates, this falls in the coldest part of winter when the lemon tree has slowed or stopped active growth. Feeding a dormant tree wastes the nutrients and can lead to salt buildup in the soil since nothing is actively absorbing them. Avoid applying it during extreme heat waves or drought stress. If your lemon tree is already wilting or struggling in intense heat, adding any kind of fertilizer, even a gentle one like fish water, can add additional stress right when the tree is least equipped to handle it. Also, avoid applying it right after transplanting or repotting. A tree that's just had its roots disturbed needs time to settle before you introduce any new nutrient load. Ideally, wait 2 to 3 weeks after transplanting. Now, for the ideal timing. The ideal window is during the tree's active growing season, which for most lemon trees means spring through early autumn. Whenever you're seeing new leaf growth, flower buds, or developing fruit, this is when the tree's roots are actively pulling in nutrients and can actually put them to use. Early morning or late afternoon are the best times of day to apply it, avoiding the harsh midday sun, which can cause faster evaporation and even minor leaf stress, if any splashes onto foliage. As for frequency, this isn't a daily or even weekly treatment. Apply your diluted fish water mixture once every 3 to 4 weeks during the active growing season. This gives the soil microbes and root system enough time to process the previous application before you add more. Over-applying too frequently is actually one of the fastest ways to undo all the benefits we talked about earlier, so patience and consistency beat frequency every single time. So, how long until you actually see something happen? Here's a realistic picture. Within the first 7 to 10 days after your first application, you'll likely notice subtle changes first. Existing leaves may take on a slightly deeper, richer green color as chlorophyll production gets a boost from that magnesium and nitrogen combination. By around 2 to 3 weeks in, especially if you're applying during active growing season, you should start to see new growth appearing, fresh leaf shoots that look noticeably healthier than growth that came before the treatment. If your tree was flowering or setting fruit, you may also notice improved flower retention, fewer buds dropping prematurely. By the 4 to 6 week mark, after your second application has had time to work, this is typically when growers report the most visible transformation. A fuller, glossier canopy, sturdier new branches, and if the tree was already fruiting, noticeably plumper, juicier lemons by the time harvest comes around. Keep in mind that results always depend on your tree's starting condition. A lemon tree that was already struggling with a nutrient deficiency will often show more dramatic, faster improvement than a tree that was already healthy. But across the board, consistent application through a full growing season tends to produce a visibly stronger, more productive lemon tree by the time you reach the end of it. And that's the full story on what happens when you pour fish water into your lemon tree. What most people flush down the drain without a second thought turns out to be one of the most balanced, gentle, nutrient-rich boosts you can give a citrus tree, as long as you respect the dilution, the timing, and the technique. Your fish tank isn't just home to your fish anymore. It's a quiet little fertilizer factory sitting right in your living room. If you try this on your own lemon tree, I want to hear how it goes. And if you found this useful, make sure you're subscribed, because we've got a lot more surprising, practical growing tricks like this one coming your way. See you in the next video.